Hey, this is Jether Blaise, broadcasting to persons unknown from the demilitarized zone in cyberspace. Today I want to talk to you about recent developments in the burgeoning cyberwar with China. As is already well known, groups of hackers have been operating in China for more than a decade. Chinese hackers rose to prominence as early as 1999, after US forces inadvertently bombed the Chinese embassy in Yugoslavia during the Kosovo War. Outraged hacktivists hijacked the website of the U.S. Department of Energy and the Interior and the National Park Service, taking down the site's usual content and replacing it with anti-American messages. A denial of service attack also targeted the White House, resulting in White House officials taking down the website for 3 days as a precaution. Today, Chinese hacker groups are taking orders from China's military and intelligence leaders. They are skilled and relentless and make little effort to cover up their tracks, in part because they know the US government has been loath to identify one of its most important trading partners and lenders as the source of a global espionage campaign. Chinese hackers don't operate entirely as a collective, and how they're organized is still a mystery. Unlike the US, the Chinese don't publicize their cyber warfare hierarchy and command structure. It's kind of stupid if you ask me, and ensures that cybercriminals will always remain a step ahead of the US. This horde of Chinese cybercriminals has been described as an advanced persistent threat, and is responsible for a global spread of malware that has infected or attempted to infect every computer system of significance. Cybersecurity personnel have a saying: there are two types of companies, those that have been hacked and those that don't know it yet. A particular group known as Unit 61398 has been identified as having headquarters located in Shanghai. The security research firm Mandiant broke ground on this in 2013 and released a report that detailed their operations. They discovered that Unit 61398 had broken into the systems of nearly 150 targets. Other security experts linked the group to an incursion in 2012 on the networks of Telvent, which designs industrial control software used to regulate valves and security systems for oil and gas pipeline companies. Telvent acknowledged that the intruders stole project files which could be used to map out networks of oil and gas companies and find their weaknesses. Sabotage of critical infrastructure seems to be a clear goal for Unit 61398, and it is just one of 20 hacker groups Mandiant was tracking. Chinese hackers in general seem to be more focused on espionage and stealing trade secrets, biting on some Dracula. As for the bars, this is Attica, but that don't matter, cause that will never get no plaque for you. In late 2018, the Justice Department unsealed charges against the AP-10 group, which consisted of 10 Chinese spies, hackers, and others accused of conspiring to steal sensitive commercial airline and other secrets from US and European companies, violating a commitment China made to members of the international community to not engage in cyber espionage and cyber warfare. 2 hackers in particular were singled out by the FBI, and as Derek Scissors, a China analyst at the American Enterprise Institute, has said, indicting a handful of Chinese agents out of the tens of thousands involved in economic espionage is necessary but not important. International denouncements may irritate Z, but they place no real pressure on him. In addition, it has recently come to light that the Department of Justice unveiled criminal charges against telecom giant Huawei Technologies and its chief financial officer, accusing the company for stealing trade secrets, committing wire fraud, breaking confidentiality agreements, and violating sanctions against Iran. China, however, has doubled down, insisting that the extradition request be dropped by the US, making a full commitment to defend its companies. We'll see how this develops under the Trump administration. In addition to focused efforts by agencies like the FBI and the Department of Justice to rein in cybercriminal activity originating from China, a new entity has emerged that has been exposing Chinese cybercriminals. Since April 2017, a group known as Intrusion Truth has been unveiling the identities of Chinese hackers engaged in state-sponsored cyber espionage. Their cyber espionage activities are believed to have exposed members of APT3, another Chinese hacking group. Intrusion Truth has shifted their focus to APT10, whose cyber espionage activities include victims in the US, UK, India, and elsewhere, including a mining company, multiple IT service providers, and manufacturing firms, illustrating the truly borderless nature of cybercrime. Intrusion Truth has published the names of 3 alleged APT10 hackers, some of whose names do overlap with non-public information about the group. It's poetic justice. Hackers getting hacked. Live by the sword. Die by the sword. Sabu sends his regards. To top all of this off, a new ransomware strain has been discovered infecting Bitcoin mining rigs in China. The ransomware strain, dubbed hAnt, or hAnt however it's pronounced, was first seen in August of last year, but a new wave of infections has been reported hitting mining farms earlier this month. It is unclear how the hackers first infect a mining farm's data center or equipment, but some Chinese security experts suggest that hAnt comes hidden inside compromised versions of mining rig firmware that has been circulating online since last summer. The ransomware is particularly malicious. It immediately locks the device and prevents it from mining any new currency, presenting the user with a choice. You can either pay a 10 Bitcoin ransom to remove the ransomware, equivalent to about $36,000, or they can download a malicious firmware update that they have to apply to other mining rigs to further spread the ransomware. If victims fail to pay the ransom or infect at least 1,000 other devices, the ransom note threatens to turn off the mining rig's fan and its overheat protection, leading to the device's destruction. Although no reports of destroyed equipment have surfaced, the initial report published by Ibn Chain claimed that hAnt infected over 4,000 devices within minutes. Most of the damage thus far seems to be due to equipment downtime for firmware reflashes. This is what goes on in the war in Cyraq. Trust no one. Remember Sabu. You've been warned.